welcome to The Walking Dread. Yeah, it's, well, a place for scary stories and, I guess, nightmares and all those terrifying tales and ancient curses that are going to, shake you to your core, you know? But we do it all, in a fun way. It's spooky, but fun. Spooky fun.
Masterful storytelling. That's what keeps it spooky. You can rate and follow the show for more Walking Dread episodes.
Right, yeah. We're diving into this story, called Facing Darkness that you, the listener, shared with us. Yeah. And it's got this, really chilling hook, right? A necklace. It promises you control over your nightmares, but you can probably guess it delivers something way more sinister.
Yeah, classic horror trope, right? The promise of power, but at a cost.
Listener, you're someone who likes, to get to the heart of things quickly and thoroughly. You're always looking for those aha moments without getting, too bogged down. And trust me, the way the story unfolds, it's going to be right up your alley, I think. We also have, the Walking Dread Story Guide.pdf.
Yeah.
That gives us some insight into how, horror narratives are crafted to really get under your skin.
Yeah, how they really mess with you. And, what's fascinating from the very beginning is that desire for mastery, right? You, our listener, you're drawn to understanding complex topics, to getting a quick but solid understanding. Mm-hmm. And in Facing Darkness, Sarah's motivation at the start, it's the same. She wants to conquer her internal world, those creeping dreads that haunt her sleep.
Right.
It's that same desire, to be in control, to master something that feels out of control.
It's that allure of a quick fix, a quick and easy way to get peace of mind. Sarah's nightmares weren't about, some monster jumping out of the closet or something. It was this creeping dread. Mm-hmm. The story says it was the relentless mockery of her loser status. Can you imagine?
Oof, yeah, brutal.
This constant negativity, just echoing in your sleep. That just sounds exhausting. So when old Mrs. Bennett warns her about the necklace,
right,
she says, "It ain't for controlling dreams, child. It's for summoning them."
Foreshadowing.
Right. You'd think that'd be a huge red flag.
Big one.
But Sarah just ignores it.
Yeah.
She's so desperate for a solution that she just, she doesn't see it.
Which, thinking about how good horror stories work, that's super important. It's that ominous beginning. The guide actually mentions this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the main character, the protagonist, they come across this warning, somewhat older, wiser, they know stuff. But the protagonist, they just ignore it because they want something so bad, or maybe they think they're, too smart.
Too clever.
Yeah, too clever. And for you, listener, someone who loves figuring out how stories work, this is the author, setting the mood, right?
Yeah.
We know something bad's going to happen, even if Sarah doesn't.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's setting the stage.
Real.
And even the necklace, the way it's described, it should have been another warning.
Oh, yeah.
Black stones pulsing with this nauseating warmth. Doesn't sound like a peaceful sleep to me.
Doesn't sound relaxing, does it?
But for Sarah, at that point, it felt powerful, like a weapon. Something she could use to fight back against all that bad stuff in her head. Mm-hmm. Not frightening. At least not yet. Something interesting here, right? What we think something is, how we see it, it can really shape how we deal with it, even if we're totally wrong.
Exactly. She sees this necklace as a tool to become stronger, And that stops her from seeing what it really is. Classic horror move, the fake promise.
Right.
It looks good, it'll solve your problem. But it's hiding its true purpose, its evil purpose, until it's, too late.
Too late.
Happens in real life, too, not just stories.
Yeah. Definitely. The things that seem too good to be true usually are. So first night, she puts it on, expecting some peace and quiet, finally a break from all that negativity.
Yeah.
But of course, that's not what happens.
Of course not.
Her dreams take a hard left turn.
Yeah.
Instead of the usual ponce, there's this faceless crowd and this really dark hallway.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah. Just thinking about it gives me chills. What is it about those images that makes them so unsettling?
I think the faceless crowd, it's it taps into this primal fear of being judged, but no one even sees you.
Yeah.
Being lost in a crowd, invisible, and everyone's judging you.
Right.
And the dark hallway, that's pure unknown. Anything could be hiding in there, and you can't see.
Can't see it coming.
Exactly. But what's really interesting, and where we see the necklace like starting to work, is how Sarah reacts when she wakes up.
Mm.
She's scared, yeah, but she also feels powerful. And that feeling, even if it's wrong, it's what hooks her.
Totally. It's like the nightmare's already seeping into her waking life.
Yeah, a little bit.
Changing how she sees things. Because the next day at school, those bullies, they actually do back off.
Wow.
Not because she stood up to them or anything.
Right.
They just perceived her differently. Whispers just stopped. It's like her nightmare is already bleeding into their reality, changing how they see her.
Interesting.
It wasn't her actions, but their perception that shifted. What does that tell us about, fear and power? Like, how are they connected?
I think it shows how personal fear is. Like, what scares you might not scare me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And here, the necklace seems to be, like, tuning into their anxieties,
Yeah.
making their fears bigger and then, like, projecting them onto Sarah.
Whoa.
And that change in how they see her, it becomes, like, a weird kind of power for her. Not a good kind, but power.
Right. Yeah, it's like a twisted kind of power.
Totally. It's a powerful example of how what's going on inside us can affect what happens outside, even in small ways.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just their perception that was changing, right? This story says the necklace, it was throbbing with her pulse. And it wasn't just messing with her dreams. It was changing her. Sleep, which should be like a safe place, became this terrifying canvas. And the descriptions get like super vivid. The walls in her dreams, they turn into these like gnarled trees under a blood-red moon. Her reflection, it becomes this monster. And her voice, it sounds like it's coming from like a ton of different mouths.
Oh, wow.
That's like seriously messed up body horror and like her whole environment is just warping around her, all in her head, in her subconscious. What does that kind of imagery, that intense, grotesque stuff, what does it do to you, like, psychologically when it's in your nightmares?
I think that kind of intense transformation, it makes us anxious about, who we are, like our identity. It's a big theme in a lot of stories where what's going on inside, it comes out, it becomes real.
Right.
The bleeding moon, that's like a classic symbol of bad things to come. The monster reflection, that's Sarah facing a scary version of herself. It's like her identity is breaking apart. And the voice from many mouths, that's like losing yourself, becoming part of something bad, something unknown. These are the things in nightmares that stick with us because they're about losing control and becoming something we're not.
And these nightmarish bits, they don't stay in her sleep for long, do they?
Uh-oh.
They start like leaking into her real life, her waking world. It's creepy. The blood red moss on the wall when she walks by. The locker, it opens and there's like snakes in it after someone says something mean to her. That's like her inner turmoil, all that stuff she's dealing with. It's spilling out into the real world. It's almost like undeniable. It's really happening.
Yeah.
How does that escalation make the horror even worse?
So here's where it goes from, just feeling uneasy to being full on scared. It's not just in Sarah's head anymore. It's changing the world around her.
Right.
Something scary suddenly appearing in a normal place, that's what creates dread. If the world can just turn nightmarish, where are you safe? It makes you feel like you have zero control. For you, listener, thinking about how fear works, think about this. Something weird happening when you least expect it. That's way more scary than like a horror movie, right? Because you're not expecting it.
You're not ready for it.
Right.
And at first, get this, Sarah likes it.
Why?
She's like embracing it. She thinks being scary, making people afraid, that's power. And the necklace, it's like her crown,
Oh, wow.
It's like a really dark way of looking at, being strong. It's not about overcoming her own struggles. It's about making other people afraid of her. It's a bad path, isn't it? Trying to be powerful by making others afraid.
Yeah, it's like our guide says, a false sense of control. Wanting power from bad things, it usually ends badly. Sarah wanting power from fear, that's a big step down a bad path.
Okay.
She thinks that the fear, the way people react to her, that's strength.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's the necklace controlling her. It's like a trick. And that trick isolates her and feeds the thing that'll destroy her.
That'll destroy her. And of course, her dreams get even worse, darker, more intense. And the fear she's causing, it seems to feed this like monstrous change in both her and the necklace. Remember that locker incident?
Yeah.
It starts as a typical mean prank.
Right.
But it becomes this like portal into a nightmare realm
What?
Yeah, and the snakes, they're hissing so loud you can't even hear her yelling for help. It's like this intense image of being trapped by pure fear.
That's scary.
It is. It's like she's lost all control. What started as, her messing with how people see her has become like a full-blown nightmare invading the real world.
Right.
The snakes are like this universal fear, right? Almost everyone's scared of snakes. And they're so loud you can't even hear her cries for help.
Yeah.
It's like she's powerless against the very thing she tried to control.
Like it's turned against her.
Yeah, exactly. The spiral, like it's getting tighter and tighter.
Right.
And then comes the really terrifying part where it's clear there's no going back.
Uh-oh.
She tries to take the necklace off.
Yeah.
And it burns her like those black stones. They're searing into her skin.
Ouch!
That pain, the fact that she can't get it off, that's when she has this like terrible realization. She thinks, the dreams aren't in my mind anymore. I am the nightmare.
Whoa! It's like a punch to the gut, The things she thought she could control, it's become part of her.
Totally. It's like the guide says, the revelation and dread. The truth is so much scarier than anything she imagined. The necklace isn't just like influencing her. It's changed her completely.
Oh.
She's not just scared. She's become the scary thing.
Right.
Her trying to take it off, the pain, it just shows how connected they are now.
And everything around her changes. Her classmates, they don't just avoid her because she's weird. They avoid her because they're terrified.
They see the hallways twisting, lockers dripping like slime. They don't even see her anymore. Just this living embodiment of their fears given horrifying form.
That's intense.
She's trapped in her own nightmare, but now everyone else is trapped in it too. It's like the ultimate isolation.
Her identity is gone, swallowed by the nightmare, and everyone's fear, it's focused on her. The messed up world they see, that's because of her transformation. It shows how fear spreads, it's contagious.
Right.
This is the darkest hour. No hope, and the truth is just awful.
And even her reflection, it's not just a little distorted anymore.
Oh, no.
It's this writhing mass of shadow with eyes that burn crimson.
Oh, man.
The necklace, the thing she thought would give her control, it's pulsing, and it's like whispering to her, even when she's awake.
That's creepy.
That constant, like, insidious presence, it must be, like, psychologically devastating.
It's like a constant reminder of what she's become. It's
Right.
like it's saying, you're not in control anymore, I am.
Whispers, it's like she's being tortured, manipulated.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what are her thoughts and what's the necklace talking.
Yeah. And poor Mrs. Bennett, watching this all happen,
Oh, man.
she's not scared, just sad for what Sarah has become.
Right.
She knew all along what that necklace was, didn't she?
Yeah, she knew.
It wasn't about getting rid of nightmares. It was about twisting them into something way worse, making Sarah this scary representation of all their fears. Mrs. Bennett, she's like the tragic figure who saw it coming but couldn't stop it.
Yeah, Mrs. Bennett is like the classic, what do they call it, the Cassandra figure?
Oh, yeah. Or...
The one who knows the bad stuff's coming, but nobody believes her.
Yeah.
It's sad, Sarah, she didn't want to be a monster. She just wanted control, and it consumed her. It's like a warning, a story about, what happens when you try to take shortcuts with powerful, mysterious things.
Don't mess with what you don't understand.
Right.
So what do you think happens to the other kids? The story doesn't paint a pretty picture.
Yeah. They'll probably run, try to hide, maybe even fight back.
Yeah.
But like the story says, they're trapped in her nightmare now.
Right.
It's not the other way around anymore.
Yeah.
They can fight the monster, but they can't fight the fear that created it.
Right.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
The real enemy isn't something you can see or touch.
Exactly. This shows how powerful, psychological fear is. You might feel free for a little bit if you hide, but the feel that Sarah is, that's still there. It'll always be there, messing with their escape. The real fight isn't a physical one, it's in their minds. And their fear, that's what makes her stronger, what gives her control over everything.
Yeah, that's deep. Sarah's not just a person anymore. She's this conduit for primal terror brought to life.
Yeah.
Her being there, it's like a disease, spreading this monstrous reality to everyone. Every scream, every scared whisper, it's not just her winning, it's like it's making her transformation stronger. Another brick laid in the prison of her own monstrous transformation. It's like this horrible cycle where The more scared people are, the more monstrous she becomes, and the more trapped they all are.
It's like this cycle of fear that just keeps getting
Oh,
worse.
yeah.
Her anxieties, her desires, they fed the necklace, which turned her into, well, that. And now she makes people even more scared, and that fear makes her even more monstrous. And her nightmare spreads further.
It's like there's no way out.
No easy escape.
But it gets even darker. The story ends with this idea that her nightmare, it's gotten bigger than her mind. It's spreading out into the world, fed by her fears and everyone else's.
Oh, wow.
She's patient because fear, as the story says, it has no limits. And with every person she affects, her nightmare kingdom gets bigger.
Wow.
All because their fear is her creation. It's a really bleak ending, the kind that stays with you.
The unsettling end. No happy ending, just like lingering fear.
It really makes you think about how powerful fear is, how it can, take over everything.
Yeah, it's not something you can just, put away or defeat, especially when it becomes, real. Sarah being patient and fear being limitless, it's like saying the terror never ends.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
So, listener, what does this all mean for you? Facing darkness, it shows us what can happen when you try to control your fears the wrong way. It can really backfire, and that desire for control can turn into something you can't handle.
It's about unintended consequences.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Wanting to overcome your anxieties, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But if you use the wrong methods, if your heart's not in the right place, it can lead to, it makes you think, how do we deal with our own struggles? And is there a shortcut for our inner battles?
Right. Are there shortcuts? I don't know. The story, it suggests that all the stuff inside us, our fears and anxiety, they can change how we see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even make those fears real in a really scary way.
It's a scary thought.
It is. It makes you think about the power we have inside us, you know, the power of our fears.
If we're not careful, our worst fears, they can become real.
And what about the idea of, shared reality?
Mm.
What happens when one person's nightmare starts to affect everyone else?
Mm.
Who's in control then? It's not just Sarah's problem anymore, it's everyone's.
It's spreading.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows how connected we all are, even when it comes to fear.
And how contagious fear is.
Right.
One person's nightmare can, infect everyone. It changes how they see things, creates a world of terror they all share.
Right.
It makes you think about how powerful our anxieties as a group can be and how easily fear can spread,
Totally. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So, listener, we end with this question for you. Can we ever really conquer our fears? Or are we, in some way, always going to be shaped by the very darkness we're trying to escape? That's a pretty heavy thought, isn't it?
It's a lot to think about.
Thank you for joining us on The Walking Dread. Don't forget to rate and follow for more scary stories. And remember, sometimes the things we fear the most, they're closer than we think.